attorney for the family.
Hey everybody, I'm listening to AM radio, which I'm going to turn off right now. And I was giving some thought to, might as well turn off the car. I was giving some thought to our choices that are given to us in 24. Well, let's start at the beginning. We basically have two parties, correct? The DNC and the RNC. There is no Republican and Democratic Party anymore. It's the DNC Incorporated and the RNC Incorporated. It always has been. And all the ties to entities on both sides are as such. They both, the overwhelming picture is they both put investments into the industrial military complex. Okay? That's the end, where both of them are the same. Now let's back up at the beginning. The DNC, I grew up knowing them as Democrats. The first Democrat that in my lifetime, that I actually listened to with a mindset at the time to where I could understand what was going on was Jimmy Carter. I wasn't copacetic or caring about Nixon and Watergate and all this stuff, but I knew about Kennedy at a very young age. I was born in 1968. So I knew the history of the year that I was born, Martin Luther King and stuff, like before kindergarten. But back to Carter, he was, for me, what hooked me was seeing those solar panels on the White House. I was like, I looked to space, I looked to everything, how to power everything where we need to go is solar. That's the first step. There are other more sustainable methods, but these entities know, which is tied with the industrial military complex. But Carter to now. The DNC went from Carter into what I call control. And it's the viewpoint of how the DNC looks at its constituency, its population base. They look at you as less than. They want you to look at them as teachers. And they want to preach their... Thought I just heard a fox run by. Poncho's food is still outside. And they want to preach their ideals. And those ideals are tied to profit. Secretly. And it's cunning. It's through marketing and all this other stuff, which... feeds the Democratic Party, this DNC entity. They all feed on each other, It's just like a mafia, actually. They call it, being a union and all this stuff. And if you help us in this part, we're going to help all the little people like SAG did with, bringing up Starbucks employees and stuff, Yeah, but they didn't say anything about the homeless or any real pressing issues that are draining energy and money from these areas. That's the DNC for you. They selectively tell you what they want you to know in order to profit from you. And they forward agendas that divide you even further into making clicks of opportunity. Look at the transgender movements and all of these things that have had a lot of money put into them for publicity and for support and everything. All they're doing is taking traumatized people who have an identity issue and are making another avenue for profit. All the same companies that make a profit off of sporting teams and holistic people, all this money that is generated, goes to where? Who makes the biggest profit? The banks and the private entity firms that own way more, and there's 3 of them that own pretty much everything in our quote-unquote free democratic society. I mean, do you want that for you? Do you want someone slick like Gavin Newsom to have a look presidential and everything, but all he's doing is forwarding the same darn thing that Obama did? And he is not going to legalize marijuana like no other president has. And they all stumped on it. Biden did. And in essence, all Biden did when he forgave the felonious marijuana past, all he did was basically enact the Ogden memo again. No real change. No change for people who, why are some areas taboo and others are given free rein? What are they invested in? Check it out. I know. This is why I'm telling you. Both the RNC and DNC are invested in the same darn things. They both went to the same colleges. They both went to the same clubs and sororities and frat houses and clubs and everything. They golf together. But they fight when they're on TV. They put on a show. There's only one agenda, and that's control. And this is where we need to band together and have a zero population vote for the parties. And let it be an let the count from the electoral vote decide the next president. And then we just say, nope, invalid. We, the people, do not accept what is inevitably going to be a planned event. RNC is really easy. I mean, they're pretty much tell you to your face what their agenda is. And when you listen to the pundits and you listen to the politicians who agree with the pundits and, vice versa, make your own decision there. But remember, even if you like some of them on either side, the pundits or the politicians, for whatever reason, they don't have your best interest involved. They only have their self-interest involved. And the people that bank them only have their self-interest involved, which is bias, marketing, war, everything to create funds that they invest in, that they create, that they make Those are the true entities that must be controlled, must have a fence put around. Democracy isn't about profit. I'm indigenous, I know. It's not about profit. And these entities don't have a ceiling. And it's time to put a ceiling on, it's time to put a sensible ceiling on the entities that control this world, much like the lithosphere controls this planet. We have to put a lid on it. If we didn't have a lid on it, we wouldn't be able to live. Right now, our economy and our way of life in a quote-unquote America doesn't have a lid on it. Therefore, nothing can be fully sustainable. Please remember to like and share and subscribe. I'm going to be having a YouTube video and opening up a Rumble, a channel on Rumble soon. And that's where you're going to really hear the peace and love and more in depth about this platform that I call Francisco 2020. The 2020 is the vision. I see what ails this land. Join me and let's restore it. Walk in beauty.